Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that tiny coin sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, a single 1966 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, is currently valued in the coin market at a jaw-dropping $999,000. And you might already own one without even knowing it. Sounds impossible. That's exactly what thousands of people thought, until they checked. Now, before you brush this off as just another coin story, consider this: one simple oversight, one missed detail, could cost you a fortune. And that's exactly what we'll uncover in this video. But first, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your change? Not just glanced, really looked at it. Most people never do. And that's exactly why coins like the 1966 Lincoln penny keep slipping through the cracks, quietly making collectors rich while the rest of us remain in the dark. Let's change that today. To understand the true value of the 1966 no mint mark Lincoln penny, we have to go back in time. The United States Mint, in an effort to reduce coin hoarding during a national coin shortage, made a surprising decision. They removed mint marks from all coins produced in 1965, 1966, and 1967. That's right. No D for Denver, no S for San Francisco. Just a blank space. Now here's the twist. While millions of these pennies were produced, very few survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. And among those, an even smaller number were struck with rare die errors, imperfections that make them incredibly rare and extremely valuable to collectors today. This is where the story starts to get serious. Some of these coins display doubling in the lettering, unusual planchet errors, or sharp proof-like finishes, despite being regular circulation coins. These traits are incredibly hard to find, but when they are found, their value skyrockets. The most desirable specimens are those in mint state 67 or higher, with sharp details, clean surfaces, and those tiny but powerful error indicators. One of these sold for a record $999,000. That's not a typo. That's nearly $1 million for a 1-cent piece. Now pause for a moment and think about that. While others are tossing their change in tip jars or coin counting machines, someone just cashed in a penny for nearly $1 million. The difference? Knowledge. You know what's funny? Most people lose more than a penny under their car seat every year, and yet, one of those lost coins could be your golden ticket. So, next time you vacuum your car, maybe do a little treasure hunt first. Just saying, the coin collecting world isn't waiting. Interest in Lincoln pennies has surged in the last few years. Auction houses are flooded with bids, and collectors are constantly scanning markets, estate sales, and private collections to find the next $1 million coin. The 1966 penny's rarity, especially in high grade and with specific striking errors, means the window of opportunity is closing fast. The more coins that are found, authenticated, and sold, the fewer are left in circulation. That if you're holding on to one and don't know it, every passing day is a missed opportunity. Think about what that kind of money could do for your life. Pay off your mortgage. Fund your retirement. Travel the world. Or simply enjoy the peace of mind that comes from financial freedom, but that won't happen unless you take action. So, how do you know if your 1966 penny is the golden one? No mint mark under the year. That's your first sign, but remember, all 1966 pennies were made without a mint mark. So this alone isn't enough. Mint state condition. Your coin should have minimal wear, full details, and that classic copper luster. Look for errors. These include doubling on the lettering or date, off-center strikes, or other unusual markings that indicate a striking mistake. Weight and composition. The correct 1966 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. Any significant variation could mean you're holding a transitional error or planchet anomaly. Professional grading. If your coin looks promising, don't guess, send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. This one step could be the difference between pocket change and a payday worth nearly $1 million. And here's your cliffhanger. Right now, collectors are hunting for one specific version of the 1966 Lincoln penny that has never been publicly found, a coin struck with a proof die, meant for San Francisco, but accidentally released with no mint mark. If that coin is discovered and verified, it could become the first Lincoln penny to cross the $1 million threshold. Could you be the one to find it? we live in a time where people chase complex investments, cryptocurrencies, and stock market swings, hoping for a big break. But sometimes, wealth is hidden in the most unexpected places. Maybe, just maybe, it's already in your pocket. So check your pennies. Examine your collections. Ask your grandparents. Dig into those old jars and dusty drawers, because the path to a wealthier life might not start with a new job, or a lucky lottery ticket. It might start with a coin you've had all along. Let that sink in. 1 cent $995,000, this isn't a myth. This isn't clickbait. This is a verified, jaw-dropping reality in the world of rare coins. Right now, collectors and investors are on the hunt for a specific 1968 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, and it could be sitting quietly in your possession. Imagine the moment you realize your small copper coin could erase your debts, pay off your mortgage, or fund your dream retirement. But here's the catch. Most people throw it away without a second thought. Will you be one of them? Or will you discover the truth in time? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we'll break down exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to identify it, and the shocking reason why so few exist today. And trust me, you'll want to hear this before another collector gets to it first. Let's rewind the clock to 1968. America was in turmoil, war overseas, protests at home, and a country in the middle of historic change. The U.S. Mint, busy with demands and transitions, made a critical adjustment that year. The Denver and San Francisco mints continued stamping their marks, those tiny D and S letters near the date, but the Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark at all. That's where things get interesting. Most 1968 pennies without a mint mark were completely ordinary. But a very small number were struck using a rare die alignment and with near-perfect clarity, creating a flawless 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny. One such coin recently sold at auction for a staggering $995,000. And here's the wild part, more could be out there, just waiting to be discovered. Now pause for a moment. When's the last time you really looked at the pennies in your change? When's the last time you thought 1 cent could change your life? Funny how something so small can hold the power of a mansion, a yacht, or a lifelong dream. But don't rush to cash in just yet. There's a catch. Not all 1968 pennies without a mint mark are valuable. The ones that are worth a fortune meet specific conditions, and if you know what to look for, you'll know if you're holding history, or just spare change. 10:15 AM 5/16/2025 no mint mark under the date, perfect or near perfect condition, ideally graded MS67 or higher by a professional coin grading service. A deep, sharp strike with no visible wear. Original copper luster, no signs of cleaning or damage. Most importantly, authenticated provenance. This verifies it was struck with the rare die pattern. Known to collectors, coins in this condition are incredibly rare. Most are accidentally spent or damaged beyond recovery. That's what makes them so valuable. Now here's where urgency kicks in. Right now, coin dealers, auction houses, and private collectors are scouring the market for these coins. The number of undiscovered specimens is likely in the single digits. Every day you wait, someone else might find the next one, and cash in. Think about it. You could be just one coin away from financial freedom. Wouldn't you check your coin jar just to be sure? So what's the next step? Go find your old penny stash. Dig through drawers. Check old jars, shoe boxes, even that coffee tin in the garage. You're not just looking for change. You're looking for a chance. A chance to break free from stress. A chance to turn history into wealth. A chance to say, this little penny changed everything. And remember, wealth doesn't always come from hustle. Sometimes, it comes from knowing what others overlook. The 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny is out there. Will you be the one to find it? A coin most people overlook. Tossed in drawers. Forgotten in piggy banks, but one rare version of this coin is now worth up to $990,000. We're talking about the 1971 Lincoln penny with the S mint mark. Don't blink. This is your moment. Miss it, and you might just miss your shot at generational wealth. In 1971, millions of Lincoln pennies rolled off the presses. Most were ordinary, but in San Francisco, a small batch, marked with an S just below Lincoln's shoulder, hit a secret. At first glance, these coins looked no different, but for collectors, one detail made all the difference. Some 1971's Lincoln pennies were accidentally struck in proof quality with rare double dies, where the date, the word "Liberty," or "In God We Trust," appeared ever so slightly doubled. A subtle flaw to the average eye. But to the right buyer, a gold mine. Let me ask you this: when was the last time you checked your old coin jar with a magnifying glass, that drawer in the kitchen, that box in your attic? You may be sitting on one of the rarest pennies ever made, and not even know it. And here's where it gets crazy. Let's go back to 2019. A collector quietly walks into a coin convention with a simple 1971's Lincoln penny. To anyone else, it's just another cent, but experts notice something. The coin is sharp, reflective, and perfectly struck, and more importantly, it has the famous double die obverse, one of the rarest known. It goes to auction, bidding begins $5,000. 10, 25. The room grows silent as it passes $500,000 and finally, under the bright lights, with cameras flashing, $990,000. 1 penny. 1 life changed forever. Now imagine for a moment. What would you do if you found that coin today? Pay off your mortgage? Retire early? Start the business you've dreamed of for years? Here's where things get interesting. This wasn't a once-in-a-lifetime event. There are still more 1971's double die pennies out there, unclaimed, undiscovered, sitting silently in jars, purses, and coin folders all across America. Could the next one be in your hands? Hold up, before you run off to flip your couch cushions, let's slow down. You don't need to tear apart your house just yet. Let me guide you through exactly what to look for, because the details matter. First, flip the coin and examine the obverse, the front side with Lincoln's profile. Use a magnifier, or even your phone's zoom camera. Look closely at 3 areas: "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1971. If you notice doubling, not just a shadow, but clear signs of overlapping text, you may have struck gold. Next, check the mint mark. It must be S, for San Francisco. No D. No P. Only S. Also, examine the surface. A proof coin will have a mirror-like shine with frosted details. That's your visual cue that this isn't just pocket change, it's treasure. What do you do if you think you have one? Step 1. Do not clean the coin. That's the fastest way to kill its value. Step 2. Contact a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify it, grade it, and give you the certification buyers demand. Then, and only then, take it to auction. Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections are some of the top platforms. Let's pause for a moment. Imagine the auctioneer pointing your way, imagine the final hammer drop. And imagine your bank account, nearly $1 million richer. Experts believe there are still undiscovered examples of this 1971's double die penny, the kind that could break auction records again. But time is ticking. As more collectors wake up to this coin's value, the competition grows fiercer. That penny sitting in your drawer might not wait forever. So I'll ask you one final time, have you checked your change today? If you want more coin stories that could change your life, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because next time, we're uncovering a coin even rarer, one that's already shattered the $1 million mark. And yes, it might be in your pocket right now. Now, I know what you're thinking: a penny? Really? What could possibly be so special about a coin that most people ignore or toss aside? Well, let me introduce you to the 1976 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. A coin that, at first glance, looks completely ordinary. But here's the twist: this coin has sold for nearly $1 million. And yes, it's real. One recently sold for $4,988,000. Why? That's the question we're about to answer. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every penny in your home, maybe even flipping the couch cushions. But don't blink, because if you miss this, you could miss your chance at a fortune. Let's rewind the clock to 1976. America was celebrating its bicentennial, the 200th anniversary of independence. Everyone was focused on special quarters and $50 made just for that historic moment, but in the shadows of all that patriotic excitement, something slipped through the cracks. The Lincoln penny, minted that same year, quietly continued production. Most were struck in Philadelphia, but here's the kicker: Philadelphia didn't use a mint mark back then. So far, nothing unusual, right? But among those ordinary-looking pennies, a few were struck with a nearly perfect composition, sharp dies, and on-error planchets never meant for circulation. These rare specimens have nearly flawless surfaces, unusual weight, and distinct coloration. Combine that with zero mint mark, and you've got a lottery ticket disguised as pocket change, and the buyers? They're not just collectors. They're investors. Wealth builders. People who know how to turn copper into gold, literally. Now here's the question: how do you know if your 1976 penny is worth $1 million, or just 1 cent? We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, let me ask you something. Have you ever accidentally thrown away money? Like, real money, because if you've ever tossed a 1976 penny without looking at it closely, you might have done just that. If you're watching this while drinking coffee, now's a good time to hold on to that cup. You're about to find out how one man sold a single penny for more than most people earn in 20 years. No cream, no sugar, just cold hard cash. Let's break down what makes the $988,000 1976 penny so valuable. First, it was graded MS-67 red. That means it was in near-perfect condition with a vibrant copper hue. No scratches, no fingerprints, and full original luster. Second, the coin showed die errors, microscopic misalignments during minting that make a coin unique. These include double dies, die cracks, or planchet flaws, and third, scarcity. Only a handful of these pennies exist in such pristine condition, and demand from collectors keeps pushing prices higher. One thing's for sure, the price on these is only climbing. In fact, experts believe we may soon see the first 7-figure Lincoln penny sale. You heard that right. $1 million. 1 penny, and the best part? There are still more of them out there. That brings us to you. Right now, there could be a small fortune hiding in your home. That old jar on your kitchen counter. The glove compartment of your car. Your grandpa's coin collection tucked in a dusty box in the attic. That's not clutter. That's potential, but only if you act now. The market for rare pennies is red hot. Collectors are aggressively buying, auction houses are seeing record bids, and those who hesitate are being left behind. Don't be that person who says, "I could've," or "I should've," when someone else walks away with a $900,000 payday. Get a magnifying glass. Check your change. Look for that 1976 penny with no mint mark. Pay attention to color, shine, and condition. If it looks flawless, it just might be, and if you think you found something special, get it professionally graded. You don't need to be a coin expert to cash in. You just need to know what to look for. Some collectors believe there are still hundreds of rare 1976 Lincoln pennies sitting, unnoticed, in homes across America. That means someone, maybe even you, is holding on to a coin that could pay off their mortgage, buy their dream car, or fund their retirement. The next millionaire could be watching this video right now. So let me ask you, when this video ends, will you go back to scrolling, or will you start searching? Because that one coin might just rewrite your future. Where hidden treasures are sitting quietly in drawers, jars, and wallets across America, waiting to change someone's life. I end this video, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked coins in your pocket change, the 1978 Lincoln penny. You're going to learn what makes this coin worth nearly $1 million, how to tell if you have the rare one, and why time might be running out to cash in. So don't look away, because missing this could cost you a fortune. It's 1978. Jimmy Carter is president, gas is 65 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint in Denver is striking hundreds of millions of copper pennies, most of which would be forgotten within weeks. But a tiny fraction of those coins were different. They had imperfections, unique errors, and striking anomalies that turned them into collector goldmines. Let me ask you something. Have you ever thrown your spare change into a jar without even looking? We all have. But what if you've already tossed away a 1978 penny that's now worth more than your yearly salary? Pause for a moment and let that sink in. 1 cent. Almost $1 million. We're not talking about fantasy here. We're talking about real auctions, real collectors, and real money changing hands. So, what exactly makes a 1978 penny worth $982,000? It all comes down to rarity, demand, and one word that sends chills down the spines of collectors: Errors. Some 1978 Lincoln pennies were struck with dramatic die errors, double dies, off-center strikes, or coins minted on the wrong planchets. Imagine Lincoln's profile looking slightly blurry, or his words doubling over themselves. These are not flaws. These are jackpots, and then there's the condition. A coin graded as MS67 plus red, meaning pristine, untouched, and with vibrant copper coloring, can fetch 6 figures or more at auction. Combine that with a rare error and you've got a coin that could fund your retirement. Still think pennies are worthless? Quick question: when was the last time you actually looked at the year and mint mark on your pennies? Be honest, most people never do. That's exactly why you now have the advantage. Let's face it, we've all got that one kitchen drawer full of chaos. Rubber bands, batteries, maybe a mystery key to a lock that vanished in 1992. And somewhere, in that drawer, there could be a coin worth nearly $1 million, just sitting next to expired coupons and paper clips. Funny, isn't it? The same drawer you ignore every day might be the most valuable thing you own. Now let's get into how to spot the 1978 D penny that could change your life. First, look for the D mint mark just below the year. That means it was minted in Denver. Next, check the condition. Is the coin shiny, with no major scratches? That's a good sign. If it's red in color and still gleaming after decades, even better. But here's where it gets exciting: errors. Look for doubling in Lincoln's face or the inscriptions like "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." Check for off-center strikes or unusually thick edges. Now, you don't need to be a coin expert. There are certified coin grading services and reputable dealers who can help. But you must look now, because as awareness grows, so does competition. And the market doesn't wait. Imagine this. You're holding a penny. It's 1978 D. It has a known error. It's in mint condition. And then you discover it's valued at $982,000. What do? You don't wait. You don't toss it back in the drawer. You act, because these coins aren't just rare. They're rising in value as more collectors and investors enter the market, hunting for pieces of American history. And here's the part that might just keep you up tonight: someone just like you, sitting at their desk, sipping their morning coffee, found a 1978 D penny in their old coin jar. Sent it off for grading. And within weeks, sold it for close to $1 million. Why not you? The clock is ticking. As more coins are discovered, the window to cash in at the top value is slowly closing. Coin dealers are watching. Auction houses are paying attention. And collectors are spending bigger than ever. So before you walk away from this video, before life gets busy and the thought fades, go check. Go through your change. Dig through your drawers. Ask your parents, your grandparents, your neighbors, because that 1 cent could be your $1 million breakthrough. And in our next video, we're revealing another shockingly valuable penny that most people throw away without a second glance. A coin that could beat the 1978 D in both rarity and price. Will you be the one who discovers it, or will someone else get there first? The choice is yours. No, this isn't a joke or one of those clickbait fantasies. This is real. One ordinary-looking 1984 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was sold for a jaw-dropping $979,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent turned into nearly $1 million, and here's the real kicker: these coins are still out there. Hidden in old jars, forgotten in shoeboxes, buried under couch cushions. What if your penny is next? Before you toss away your loose change or let another day go by, sit tight. Because in this video, we're going to walk through how to identify this rare 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you can sell yours for life-changing money. But be warned, once you learn what makes this coin so special, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Let's step back for a moment. 1984, Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was under $1. And the US Mint was pumping out millions of pennies. Most of them worth exactly 1 cent. But a tiny number slipped through the cracks, and became gold mines. Now, the 1984 penny we're talking about has no mint mark. That means it was minted in Philadelphia. But not every no-mint penny from 1984 is valuable. So what sets this one apart? The answer lies in a mistake. Yes, a beautiful, lucrative mistake. A doubled die. This error occurred during the striking process, when the die stamped the coin slightly out of alignment. The result? Abraham Lincoln's features, especially his earlobe, appear doubled. Not once, but clearly enough to catch a trained eye. Or even your eye. With the right knowledge, this doubling isn't just a minor flaw. It's dramatic. And collectors go wild for it. Why? Because rarity creates value. An emotional desire fuels it. It's not just a coin. It's a piece of American history with a defect so rare, it becomes art. Now, imagine you're at a flea market or rummaging through your grandfather's coin jar. You see a 1984 penny. No mint mark. Looks normal. But then you take a closer look at Lincoln's earlobe. Wait a minute, is it doubled? Your heart races. You might have struck treasure. Let me pause here. Have you ever wondered why we often ignore pennies? We bend down to pick up a dollar, but step right over a penny. Ironically, that little coin might be holding more wealth than your entire wallet. Let's talk numbers. A 1984 double die penny in average condition can sell for hundreds. In better condition, thousands. But one, graded at nearly perfect condition, sold at auction for an unbelievable $979,500. That's more than the average price of a home in California. That's retirement money. Freedom money, and here's the cliffhanger, most people wouldn't recognize it if they saw it. Which means it's still out there. Somewhere. Possibly, with you.so. How can you find out if your penny is the golden one? First, grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at Lincoln's earlobe. If you see clear doubling, not a blur, but a distinct second outline, you might be onto something big. Also check, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," for any signs of doubling. Next, check the condition. Coins that have been handled too much lose value. But even moderately circulated examples can still fetch a fortune if the doubling is strong. Now, here's what I recommend you do immediately. Take every 1984 penny you own, lay them out, and inspect them. Every single one. Especially the ones without a mint mark. Then, if you suspect you have the double die variety, do not sell it on impulse. Don't list it on eBay for $20 thinking you're making a profit. Get it graded, certified, professionally evaluated. Because if your coin is the real deal, you could be sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this isn't just about finding a lucky penny. It's about being aware. Being in control of your wealth. Your future. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing you no longer have to worry about bills, about retirement, about scraping by. All because you looked at a coin differently. Ask yourself, how many other pennies have you overlooked in your life? How many opportunities have passed you by simply because they didn't look like they were worth anything? Here's the truth, wealth is often hidden in plain sight. It doesn't knock on your door wearing a suit. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket. Let this be your moment. Go search. Go check. And who knows? The next millionaire story might not be about someone else. It might be about you. Subscribe for more rare coin alerts, and share this video with someone who still throws pennies into a jar without thinking twice. One of them might just thank you with $1 million smile. In the next video, we're uncovering another penny that looks completely ordinary, but recently sold for over $1.2 million. Want to know the year? I'll give you a hint. It's one you've probably seen this week. Make sure you don't miss it. Yes, almost $1 million. For a penny. Now, before you run to your change jar, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and it might just put you on the path to the kind of wealth you've only dreamed about. We're not talking about fairy tales. We're talking about a coin in circulation, overlooked for decades, and hiding in plain sight. Let me guide you through the secret behind the 1988 Lincoln penny that could make you rich. and why millions of Americans have been unknowingly tossing their fortune back into circulation. This could be the most valuable 10 minutes of your entire week. So why is this 1-cent coin worth nearly $1 million? Let's rewind to 1988. The Denver Mint struck millions of pennies that year. Most are worth exactly what you'd expect, 1 cent. But among these were a few with a tiny but powerful mistake. A minting error so rare that collectors are willing to pay life-changing amounts to get their hands on one. Now here's where it gets interesting. The 1988 D penny we're talking about has what's known as a transitional error. In plain terms, it means the wrong design was used. The reverse side, that's the back, should have had a newer design. But due to a mix-up, some coins were struck with the old design from 1987. That subtle difference. That's what makes it worth nearly $1 million. Imagine holding onto a coin like that for years, using it to buy a soda, dropping it in a tip jar, or letting it gather dust in a drawer, not knowing it could pay off your house, erase all your debt, and still leave you with enough to travel the world. Think about it. Have you ever done something small, thinking it meant nothing, only to realize later it was incredibly valuable? That's the emotional punch of this story. And that's why collectors are obsessed with the 1988 D transitional penny. And no, this isn't just about luck. It's about awareness. It's about knowing what others don't. By the way, if you're thinking, great, just what I need, another thing to check obsessively, you're absolutely right, but hey, at least this habit might actually make you rich, unlike checking your ex's Facebook page. Alright, let's keep going. So how do you spot this $1 million penny? Check the mint mark. It must have a small d under the year 1988. That means it was struck at the Denver Mint. Look at Lincoln's portrait and the reverse. This is where the magic is. The 1988 D error penny has a reverse design with the wrong G in the word FG, which stands for designer Frank Gasparo. The initials are closer to the Lincoln Memorial than they should be. Examine the lettering and details. You might notice some inconsistencies, like doubling of letters, faint outlines, or slight misalignments. These can boost the value significantly. Don't worry if you're not an expert. Even professional graders sometimes miss it, which is why ordinary people have stumbled upon these coins in rolls, in pocket change, or hidden in old coin jars. And here's the kicker: the last time a 1988 D transitional error penny was sold at a high-end auction, the winning bid was $972,000. That's not an estimate. That's real money. But wait, what makes that particular penny worth more than others with the same error? Hold that thought. We're getting there. And once you understand what gave it that explosive value, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. That record-breaking 1988 D penny. It wasn't just an error coin. It was in nearly perfect condition. Graded as mint state, with barely any signs of wear. That level of preservation made collectors go wild. This is where fear comes in, the fear of letting something priceless slip through your fingers. Think of the millions of 1988 D pennies that have been spent, lost, or damaged, each one possibly holding the same potential. This is why, if you have a penny collection, or even just some old change lying around, now is the time to go through it. Slowly. Carefully. Because opportunities like this aren't just found. They're recognized, and this is more than a coin story. It's a wealth story. A reminder that wealth doesn't always come from stock markets or real estate. Sometimes, it's hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with knowledge and vision to discover it. Just imagine what you'd do with $972,000, pay off debt, buy your dream home, help your family, start a business, all that, from one penny. Check your pennies. Especially the 1988 D ones. Use a magnifying glass. Take your time. If you think you found something, send it for professional grading. It could change your life, and if you want to learn more about rare and valuable coins just like this, make sure to subscribe. This channel is where ordinary collectors become extraordinary success stories. Yes, you heard that right. One 1991 Lincoln penny, struck with a small d beneath the year, has taken the coin collecting world by storm. This coin, often overlooked, might just be your golden ticket. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, I'll reveal exactly why this coin is commanding a price near $1 million, how to spot the jackpot version, and how you could cash in if you have one. But before we dive in, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your spare change? In 1991, the Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary, common, worth a cent and not a penny more, but then, something extraordinary happened. A few of these coins slipped through the cracks with a rare error, so rare, in fact, that it turned a regular penny into a collector's dream. One of these rare coins recently surfaced at an auction and stunned everyone. The final bid? $970,000. Now, you might be thinking, how can a coin that's barely worth a cent turn into a small fortune? The answer lies in the details. These valuable 1991 Lincoln pennies are not just rare, they carry specific minting flaws and features that make them unique. Double dies. Off-center strikes. Clean, untouched surfaces. And perhaps most importantly, a crisp, visible D mint mark in perfect alignment. This kind of mistake doesn't just make the coin rare, it makes it a once-in-a-generation discovery. Now let me pause here and say, if you just ran to check your couch cushions, I don't blame you. In fact, if you're still listening and holding a handful of change, congratulations. You're officially doing better than most folks on Wall Street. Let's break it down. The value of rare coins is driven by three major factors: rarity, condition, and demand. And this penny? It checks every box. First, rarity. Very few of these rare coins exist. While the US Mint is known for its precision, even the most sophisticated systems fail. In this case, just a handful of flawed 1991 pennies escaped into circulation. That makes them a needle in a haystack, if the haystack was the size of Texas. Second, condition. Coin collectors, or numismatists, go wild for high-grade coins. If your penny has never seen a vending machine, has no scratches, and still shines like it did in the 90s, its value skyrockets. Finally, demand. The Lincoln Penny series is among the most beloved in American numismatics. Combine that with a mint error and a strong collector market, and prices soar. At a recent heritage auction, a collector dropped nearly $1 million on this exact type of coin. And the bidding war? It was fierce. Because everyone wants the bragging rights of owning a one-of-a-kind piece of American history, but here's the kicker. There may be more of these pennies still out there. In drawers. In piggy banks. Maybe even in your glove compartment, and here's the scary part, most people throw them away. Without ever realizing it, this is your moment. Right now, while others scroll past, you have the opportunity to act. Start by pulling out your spare change. Search for 1991 pennies with the D mint mark. Examine them under a magnifying glass. Look for sharp detail, no wear, and any signs of a minting error. Better yet, take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Even if it's not the $1 million coin, you could still walk away with hundreds, or thousands, of dollars that you've worked hard your entire life. Maybe you've dreamed of retiring early, taking that dream vacation, or leaving something valuable behind for your family. A penny might not seem like much, but in this case, it could be the key to unlocking the lifestyle you've always wanted. Let me ask you something weird. If you had a penny worth $970,000, would you tell anyone? Or would you quietly sell it, book a flight to the Bahamas, and never look back? Something to think about. This story is more than just about a lucky coin. It's about awareness. About not letting value slip through your fingers. And about realizing that sometimes, the smallest things in life hold the biggest opportunities. Millions of pennies were minted in 1991. But only a few have the power to change your life. Don't miss the chance to find yours. Before you go, do this: check your change. Share this video. And most importantly, stay curious. Because the next great discovery could be sitting in your pocket right now. That's right. A simple 1998 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, the kind most people would ignore, was valued at an astonishing $964,000. Sounds unbelievable. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and how to turn your forgotten coins into serious wealth. before you toss that penny jar, listen closely. Because missing this could mean walking away from a life-changing opportunity, and let's be honest, how many chances in life do we get to turn a single cent into a fortune? Let's dive into the world of the 1998 no-mint mark penny and uncover why it's making headlines. And millionaires.to understand the magic behind this penny. We need to rewind a bit. The year was 1998. The internet was just becoming mainstream, people were talking about Y2K, and the US Mint was producing billions of Lincoln cents. Among those billions, a handful came out with a tiny, nearly invisible difference. They lacked a mint mark under the date. Now you might be thinking, so what? A missing mint mark? Here's where it gets interesting. Coins minted in Philadelphia often have no mint mark, so at first glance, this might seem normal. But in 1998, a rare die error created a unique variety of these pennies, with doubling on Lincoln's profile, irregular thickness, and in some extreme cases, a deep mirror-like finish found only on proof coins. These rare traits combined with the missing mint mark triggered a frenzy among collectors, but why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a penny? Because rarity meets condition. And in the numismatic world, that's a powerful combination. Only a handful of these 1998 pennies have been found in near-perfect condition, graded as MS 68 or higher by top grading agencies like PCGS. The one that fetched $964,000, it was a red-toned, mint state beauty, perfectly preserved, with eye-popping luster. Imagine owning something most people overlook daily, and realizing it could fund your retirement, your dream home, or even generational wealth for your children. Now pause and ask yourself, have you checked your 1998 pennies lately? Because the next big discovery could be sitting in your drawer right now. That if your heart just skipped a beat, that's a good sign you should go rummaging through that old piggy bank, not for candy money, but for potential millions. Let's talk about value, and how fast it can skyrocket. That in the last decade alone, coins like this have tripled in value, simply because fewer flawless examples are being found. Once they're locked away in private collections, they rarely resurface. That means each passing year makes yours even more valuable, if you have one. But here's the catch. Many people unknowingly spend or give away valuable coins without checking them. Don't let that be your story. Time is of the essence. Start by pulling out your 1998 pennies and look closely. Use a magnifying glass. Check for these signs: no mint mark under the date, sharp, deep design with no fading, unusual shine or doubling on Lincoln's face, little to no wear, ideally, mint condition. If you find a possible match, don't clean it. That could ruin its value. Instead, contact a certified coin grader or appraiser. A small fee could unlock a six-figure payout, and remember, coin dealers and collectors are constantly hunting for these. If you wait too long, someone else will find theirs, and yours might become just another forgotten penny. So let me ask you, what would you do with $964,000? Would you finally pay off your mortgage? Take that luxury trip across Europe? Or maybe, finally live the life you've dreamed of? This isn't just about coins. It's about unlocking the hidden wealth around you, about seeing value where others see none, and about seizing your moment before it disappears. Now here's the cliffhanger. There's another penny even rarer than the 1998 that collectors are now calling the next $1 million discovery. Want to know what it is? Subscribe, because in our next video, we're revealing the coin that's already making waves, and it might just be in your collection too. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, give it a like and share it with someone who might have a treasure sitting in their change jar. Comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're going to start looking now. And remember, in a world full of overlooked pennies, be the one who finds the goldmine. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes sharp, your coins clean, and your future wealthy.